Hi, everyone. Welcome to Women in Robotics Ask Me Anything with Sravanthi Kanchi today. We're very happy to have you here with us, and we are recording this so that we can share it with people that are not here live. How about you start us off by telling us how you first got interested in robotics and what that process was like?
Absolutely. So I got interested into robotics by really looking at the problems around me. Most of the problems, if you see, if it's like lifting heavy items, if it's cleaning spaces, if it's even warehouses, if you go into factories, you need a lot of assistance. And I've seen that this is the place where you can really use something that has an intelligent mind, and there's a machine that can really help you solve that problem. So that's what really interested me. Like, there are many important and complex problems that only robots can solve, and this is the best time to really solve those problems and really make that impact. So that's what really motivated me to build and get started with robotics. You can really make a huge impact if you just have that vision to help people out solving those complex problems.
Is there a specific problem that you've been focusing on in that space?
Absolutely. I get a lot of requests as well. Like, one of the requests that I've got was, how do you be? There was a person. He said that in his warehouse, many people lift very heavy objects, heavy packages, and a lot of people face this problem of back pain. So the ideas that we had to come up with was, how do you build probably like a small patch that you can put it on a bag and assist you to lift different heavy objects, or how can we use a humanoid bot or just a small bot like a square space or a cuboid space to small rolling bot that can help you lift heavy objects. Another problem that I faced was personally in my home, where I have a large space and all of these robotic vacuum cleaners, mops, they're not so effective. Even if you have the best intelligence like mapping and navigation, you're not able to solve them efficiently. So this is what it interested me. Like, hey, if I can solve a problem for myself, why not use this problem as a like why not solve this problem for the people? Why not help people out with it? So this is one of the reasons. Like, I thought, an intelligent system, but at the same time that's really efficient, effective, with great parts, and also doing not just cleaning, but a deep cleaning can surely make a difference.
Mm-hmm. So you're a founder of a startup, correct?
Yes, absolutely. I am a founder of two startups actually.
Wow.
One is an interior design. So my co-founder is in India, and you won't believe, like, even he came up with this idea because he faced the problem of interior design issues. There were a lot of people charging him like exorbitantly, and it wasn't even worth paying that price. And then he realized, like, hey, I can do this at an affordable cost. And I love design specifically. I love robotic design. I love designing houses. So I understood that here I can use robotics, I can use intelligence even in this space, which is why, like, I was working on my robotics. I'm still working on my robotics projects, and I interacted with him on Instagram, and we became co-founders that way. And we have this interior design company. So we make design cheaper for people. Right now we are focusing on India because the market. And the best part about this company is you have small spaces, right, in cities in India. So the challenge also comes up, like, how do you design, how do you engineer a small space, which is very interesting. Like, you got to use your creativity, you got to use all your problem solving, and you need to come up with a great design. So this is the second company that is interior design that we are focusing on.
Awesome. So for the interior design, is that like one customer, you kind of manually do it? Are you writing software or AI to kind of come up with a couple options for them to choose from? What's that process like?
So we'll be using AI. We'll be obviously at this point, what we have done is we have started building our customer base. And we have built it like through a commission based model. So we already have a panel of interior designers and architects who already get the whole 3D modeling and the design and everything done. That's because we realized like, let's go the small way first, like the simplest way first. The next step is actually using artificial intelligence. Our focus is to also give we are planning to make an immersive experience. Like if I put out an area where you imagine like, right now your house, your space is probably not looking that great, right? But when you give an immersive experience and really feel like this is the way, we can do things differently, give them the feel how the future house or the space would look beautiful. That's our focus. We're working on that aspect right now, and it's going to be launching like in a couple of months.
Awesome. For the immersive side, are you considering using any virtual reality type technology to be able to or augmented reality to be able to kind of put them more in the space you're envisioning for them?
Absolutely, we're using that, and we're also currently, as I said, right, we are just small. We are not a very huge company. So the first aspect what we're focusing on is making sure that we have a very good connection with our customers, and we do have. I'm not saying we have a huge client list, but our goal is right now to build that connection and then focus on giving this virtual reality experience, especially if you look at the pandemic scene. This can help a lot of people really. So because of the pandemic, this is the problem that we've got. All of the projects have been postponed, right? We cannot enter the space and we cannot redesign that. So at this point, we are focusing on building that customer relationship, giving them ideas, helping them solve the problem. Because you have, when you talk about a space, it's not just the physical aspect, it's also the appearance. You have deep problems like, leakages. And, in India, it rains heavily in cities like Mumbai. So there's some really important problems that have to be addressed. So we're first focusing on those nitty-gritty problems, making sure that the customer experience is great. And then with the remaining customers, with the remaining postponed projects, we'll be using the augmented reality feature for that through their phones, with the photos, and we're also consistently focusing on building the community stronger. That is what we have understood. Because if you look at the similarities, whether you talk about hardware or even interior design, both of the things are physical products. You can't go wrong. So it's okay to take an extra month before really delivering it to the customer. So we are focusing on making sure that we are giving the best quality.
Awesome. And I guess, how long has this been around? How did you find your customers?
Absolutely. So Mike, co-founder, he found them in India, and they really came up. What we did was we first started off as a Facebook group. We've had our own humble beginnings. We started really asking people, what are your different problems that you face, right? And we wanted people to really share those problems. When we gave that open platform through a Facebook community, it started growing up so tremendously. It was quick. People have really started posting reels. People have really started sharing their own videos of the house. Like, we have this problem in the kitchen. The plumbing is not right. The table, the wood is not at all great. We want it to be better. And then our team of architects and interior designers, they started giving different kinds of themes. Like, you can revamp this. And we also started taking different kinds of surveys. So this helped us a lot when we realized like a community where when we solve problems for that community, it can be a killer thing. And it interested a lot. It was really interesting for us to see that, you have a small space and we can make it even more better and beautiful. Because a lot of people, this is what we have understood, a lot of people don't have the money to beautify their space. So this was the niche, like we realized like this is something that we can really tackle, and if we give the best, and we are giving the best, by the way, it's just that the projects have been postponed, but we have really spoken to a lot of people and they want to really interact with us and get ahead with the project.
That's exciting. Seeing the process grow and having the engagement from the customers that are really interested in what you're offering. What has been the biggest challenge as a founder of a startup that you've faced?
Absolutely. So in interior design, or is it robotics?
Either, whichever you want to discuss.
Absolutely. So in interior design, as I said, the pandemic has caused the problem. Like everything was delaying up. That's one of the challenges. In robotics, here's the thing. Like I'm consistently researching I don't have a technical co-founder. So there are a lot of aspects that I'm supposed to do it on my own. Ordering that 3D printer, bringing those parts, making sure, talking to customers, making sure that they are liking what are they really accepting my product? Because I'm also studying a lot of use cases, and they're giving this example consistently. Maybe it's like a thought, like, what, before completely launching your engineered prototype or before completely launching your whole product, speak consistently to customers. So the challenge was also in robotics. Like, I know there's going to be one user out there, but I've got so many valuable inputs from just that one user that I realized, like, if there are 10 other people who want to use my product, I need to make it better. And yes, so that's the challenge, right? Actually innovating while listening to your customers' input. So that's another challenge. And also making sure that I'm meeting those expectations that the customer has set out to me.
How much time does it take to communicate and discuss with the customer versus doing the engineering and the prototyping and developing? Is that something it's like 20% of your time talking to the customer, or skewed more one way or the other way?
So yes, 20% to 30% of the time I'm investing in talking to the customer. In fact, like every week, I go to different networking events and also ask people, like, do you really like this idea? What do you really think about this idea? And I'm trying to make sure that I get the market validation right there before making the wrong decision. So I can say 20 to 30% is definitely talking to different people. And people have given a positive response to me. They do want to see a different product out there, something that is very efficient in doing the deep cleaning and all of that. But 70 to 80% is definitely the prototyping, building a software. And if you know about ROS, like there's so much debugging involved. Though I can get faster in like 2 to 3 weeks. And again, hardware components, right? Integrating the hardware, behavior of the hardware. That is actually taking time. So I've distributed my time like 70 to 80% in prototyping, 20 to 30% in actually really networking and seeing how do people really behave to this product, and also signing up more people to my waitlist.
Awesome. So you basically were interested in robotics, started looking at various problems, including deep cleaning, and then you kind of went out and found some potential customers and people to talk to kind of validate your design and your approach. Is that, did I follow correctly?
Absolutely. And I've learned this, in fact, like women in robotics, the whole community is so amazing. I have learned this through the resources that I've got. And also, plus I'm Googling a lot. I'm not going to say that we should not do your independent research. So I'm consistently like finding out what are the different problems people face. Even Amazon reviews. And Amazon reviews is one of the most amazing places where you can get these problems. We can really listen to your customers. Because there's so many, people, there's so many products out there. And I know that it's an already occupied space. But in order to get an edge, I think the answer lies in solving the customer's problem, the pain point. And I've been learning this from the use cases, from the studies of different robotics companies that are raising rounds, that are really focusing on. And one of the most amazing things is initially it was very overwhelming for me because I'm from software, right? I don't have experience in electronics, or I don't have any experience in manufacturing. But now with the help of internet, I know I can build a prototype. I know I can connect to a person who has experience in manufacturing. So this is the best time to be alive. And I think it's the best time to make robots and change the whole dimension and the space of robotics.
Where you live, is there like a robotics community or like a maker space or any of these kind of types of resources you've been able to leverage to get assistance on a local scale?
So yeah, there is St. Louis University here. Universities are the best places. Also, what I'm doing is like I've created a group of robotics and AI enthusiasts on Facebook, because there are many people from India and even women. I'm encouraging women to join women in robotics. And at the same time, there are many people in India who want to learn, want to really develop different types of robots. Like, wall climbing robot. I had this idea, develop a wall climbing robot that can just clean ceilings. And you won't believe it's like people were like, how would you make this? We really need this because now this is where the robot is coming to help, right? Like you're cleaning the ceiling, and experience where I slipped off once while cleaning the ceiling, and I had a chance of injuring my back. So people were like, hey, this is an interesting idea. I really want to contribute to it. So going online, and in India, people really want these products and people really want to learn how to develop these products. So that really motivated me to solve this, to fix this issue. People want resources, and people are also ready to tap into those resources, which is super.
Yeah, it sounds like a great community and a way to keep building things forward and making advancements by being able to spread the workload across multiple people, as well as allowing them to develop their own skills.
Yeah.
It's exciting to see how much you can learn if you are motivated with the resources available via Google, via communities, via all of that. Let's see. So what is your favorite robot that that somebody else makes? Like something that is either a research robot or a robot on the market. You've seen a video of it. What did it do? Why did you like it?
Absolutely. Boston Dynamics Spot the Dog. I'll be honest. So when I went to the TechCrunch conference in San Francisco last year, 2019, robotics and AI, it was superb. When I really saw that robot in front of my eyes, like hardly 2 feet distance, okay, and I could see the robot walking. I was like, damn, 12 years, 13 years of hard work, 13 years of precision. Like nobody can get that precision, that intelligence ever. I mean, I have realized, and this is what a Google X developer told me when I met with him on a networking event. He said that, right, you want to build a robotics company, it's going to take 10 years for you to get successful. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's going to take 10 years. But when I saw Spot, I was like, it's more than that. The precision, the intelligence that they put, the hard work that they put, and that really inspired me. Like, you know what? They have taken 12 to 13 years. I know I have to be really specific. I have to be very careful with my funds. I have to be very careful with my marketing, building that customer base. But it's doable. It's really doable if we just go out on the internet and connect with people, network. 100% it's doable. We can get those people who are really passionate about building such products. So yes, that's my favorite dog. Like that's my favorite robot.
Yeah, Spot is pretty fun, and Boston Dynamics does make some great videos of what their robots are capable of. So you mentioned stuff about funds. Have you done any specific fundraising yet? Are you having customers pay for pilots? How have you managed that thus far?
Currently, I'm a person who's going from idea to just early stage. And at this point, my focus is to make the product better. So I'm just building prototypes, right? I'll be raising funds once I have the complete validated product. That's when I'm really looking for funds. And I know that I need funds to make sure that I can accelerate. I can give it to manufacturing and get more units and sell them. So at this point, I'm still like making sure that I get 100% validation from my prototype.
That's exciting process. I can't imagine going through all that. Like I work at an early stage startup, so I've seen some of the process, but like actually starting it by yourself and moving forward with it, that's a lot of work. It's very admirable, your perseverance through it. And being aware that this could take multiple years, and I am interested in seeing that through, not just like, I know for myself, sometimes I'm like, oh, well, I want to do this project. And it's like, once the project is done, it's like, okay, I want to move to the next thing. But
right. And also like you must have mentioned, I think you're dealing with this as well. Like the product life cycle is very different. Even initially, I dealt with that life cycle process because I'm from software. We launch our projects, even in my day-to-day job. We launch our projects in 2 to 3 weeks, maximum 3 weeks. And then I see hardware, like, why is this injustice, right? Like, but we have to go through that process. There's no way around,
Yeah, hardware definitely. It's a whole different game than software. Like there's lots you can do software wise with agile or sprint planning, but it doesn't always translate as well to the hardware side because of manufacturing, prototyping, building, validating. It's a whole different cycle you have to go through. While software, it's like, oh, I can just go change that one line of code, recompile, have a new thing.
Exactly. That's so true.
Was there any really good resources you used to gain some of that mechanical background? How much of it was just buying things and doing things hands-on versus following tutorials or classes online?
Absolutely. So there is this UPenn class, Coursera definitely. I'm referring to Coursera. Then there are many Udemy courses that are very specific on the mechanical aspects and the controls, vision control, even the control of the robot. And also I'm also gaining knowledge from NEPTEL, like NPTEL. It's by the IITs in India. Many professors are there, like really brilliant professors. They have just put on like it's very specific. It's only mechatronics, nothing else. They're not going to talk about the computer vision or the ROS aspect, how to put ROS and computer vision together. They're not going to talk about that. It's just mechatronics. And the best part is they've explained it with such detail, like even a 5-year-old kid, I think, can understand. Like, you know, coordination, they explain it like, you know, you have coordination of your muscles. So how would the robot behave? Everything. It's superb.
That's awesome. Yeah. Because I know some of it is like being able to, there are some people that can like watch videos and like absorb a lot of it, and other people that are better with like, okay, I have this thing in front of me, I'm building these pieces together, I'm kind of following the video, but like the hands-on aspect is what really helps cement it in their mind. What type of person do you consider yourself?
I'm a person who I'm a person who builds first. I mean, build through learn. I love learning, and once I see that I've built something, that itself gives me a confidence. And the best part is, you know, we have faced the lockdown, we have faced the pandemic. I look into a lot of community and hardware spaces. I've seen people who have already faced those problems, and I learn from them. Like, how do you avoid this? How do you avoid this problem? Because you don't want to make that costly mistake, right? I don't want to even ordering parts. I Google a lot about parts. And trust me, it takes some time. I thought that it would be very easy, like placing a Dell laptop order online or like that, or a TensorBook. But then I realized, no, it's not that way. We have to be very specific. So yeah, one of the most amazing aspects I've understood after watching these tutorials on YouTube, and YouTube has a lot of resources. There are many there are many channels that focus just on hardware startups and hardware communities. What I've understood was I can order a 3D printer, but the main thing is the hardware specs. If I go wrong with the specs, one sensor goes wrong or the LiDAR just goes wrong. If I order a $20 LiDAR versus an expensive one, I'll see the results immediately. Quality over there itself is going to be the distinction, because $20 LiDAR can be just like a testing a school project prototype. But if I want to make a great one, I need to invest more. So that made me realize, like, if I don't have a solid product spec, if I don't lay out the plan and plan everything properly, I won't be in this game. I won't be in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a really cool thing. Like I got to use different resources like that. The hardware communities on YouTube, this hackerspace, and so many out there. Hackaday, Slack channels, communities, and even women in robotics. By the way, I've been really looking through resources and using them because they've been really beneficial for me. And you know, when you're a beginner, this is what you're going to do, right? Like, what's in your hand, we're going to go with that's in our hand.
Mm-hmm. So when you're trying to spec things out and figure out requirements for your products, how do you balance like more efficiency or more better performance versus cost? Like, how do you decide where that trade-off curve is going to be?
Absolutely. So what I've done is I've made charts, and so I've made charts of different things. So if there's a specific part, like right now, I know I cannot afford for a proper, very solid PCB like custom board. So right now I'm working out with Raspberry Pis and Arduinos, and also I'm learning PCB design. Like I know that this is the control, this is the movement. This is how it's supposed to scan the environment, etc. So I'm learning how to design it online. And then once that's done, I've decided like once it's a final thing, then I will give it for a proper PCB, manufacturing. Like I want hundreds of these. Now you're going to give it to me. So the best thing is right now with software, you can reduce those errors. If we put those comparisons, right? Like, why do sometimes it feels like why should I waste money? Why not first test it out? If it fails earlier, it's better. Instead of giving that final order of like this is my final custom PCB. So now I realize like now if I don't give that final thing, if I don't make it final, if I don't validate it finally, it's going to be a huge loss for me. So that's the goal. Like I think if we associate our goal, we can make those comparisons, and once we have that clarity on that goal, right, it's possible to do it. Otherwise it's going to be a backfire for us in terms of cost when we won't be able to make that trade-off. So this is what I've learned, and it's been a personal experience also. I have burnt a lot of boards, by the way, so through that experience I can surely tell you.
Yeah, that's always the thing with hardware. It's like if you accidentally reverse something or didn't run the right check before you have the board printed, yeah, that's a risk.
Exactly.
So outside of robotics, outside of the interior design, do you have time for other interests, or does that take up between that and work take up all your time?
I will be honest, sometimes it's very difficult to give time for yourself. And I was speaking to my mentor, like, who's an entrepreneur in Silicon Valley herself. So she's into augmented reality and she's into education for kids. EdTech, she has an EdTech platform. So she really mentioned this thing called as like, you have to take a break for yourself. Because if you don't support yourself, if you don't take a break, you don't unwind, you're not going to be a person who'll be able to achieve things. And I am this person like who has energy to do it and who's curious to learn and explore. And I want to be an innovator at the end of the day, not just an entrepreneur. I want to make that change. So she told me like, you've got to take a break. And then I realized the importance of breaks. There were some times like I have actually my week, the scheduling is like I give 2 to 3 days to just work on the digital aspects of my interior design, like the website, and the remaining days I give it to robotics. I know I've given that split, but I have now, after understanding the importance of unwinding down, I've decided to give myself a break, like at least once a week, like a Sunday, just for yourself, cook some really good Indian food and unwind and have like a hot tea, ginger tea and something like that. And it's very important to take care of yourself. Otherwise, I've seen that burnout in me. So I'm really motivating others these days. Like this is the lesson I learned just this week. Like I need to unwind, otherwise I won't be able to give my best tomorrow.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed that with myself. There are times where I can feel like the burnout coming on. It's like, okay, I need to take a step back. I need to relax. I need to like do something that is not work related, go for a walk, do some yoga, whatever it is that is for myself, so that I can continue to give in these other aspects of my life and have that energy. So
I in terms of unwinding, in terms of like really taking, if there are any other interests that I have, definitely it's fitness. Every day I take out time, at least 20 to 30 minutes to just work out. I know my efficiency is not that great in working out. I'm not an expert. I'm just a beginner, but I do as much as it's possible. I try to go for maximum 3 reps, and then like I walk around at my own house, or I go for a walk, and I make sure that I'm achieving, like making sure that my mental state is also at the same point, because when you see when you're handling a lot of things, sometimes it's like difficult to focus, right? And I make sure like I need to take care of myself. So I love the fact that I can connect with fitness very well. Fitness is one, and I have a trainer, so she has motivated me a lot. She has really pushed me a lot, and I've built this amazing connection with fitness. The best thing about it is that fitness itself is a journey. So the lessons that I've learned, like to not give up, Even to like, if you're not seeing the result on the scale right now, it's okay, but you will definitely see it tomorrow. So the consistency, the maintaining yourself well, eating healthy, tracking everything that you're doing, accountability, those factors when I learned in fitness, that has really helped me perform better in these aspects. Because even I am a person who is focusing on multiple things, a job, then two startups, and also there's a lot of other things even in your startups, right? Like building your blog, talking to customers, networking with different entrepreneurs and founders. So this whole thing, like there are a lot of parameters coming into the picture, and there are many things that are running in parallel. So it's very important. So I realized like fitness is very important to me. It has this deep connection with me, and I really feel like everyone should focus on working out, or at least like a walk, have something that's physical, not just always mental.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That's great, and it's great that you were able to learn those skills from fitness and apply them to other aspects of your life. There's a lot that like sometimes we get very focused on one aspect and don't realize, oh yeah, no, I understand that from that hobby or from whatever else, and it can be applied here. They seem completely different, like engineering versus fitness don't necessarily always seem to have that overlap, but they do. So
Absolutely, and we are in such jobs, right? I'm in the data engineering and artificial intelligence side of space of things. I've seen people in my team, also in my workspace. People are from different backgrounds, right? They're from manufacturing. People have learned even mechanical engineering, electronics. If we look at all of these engineering fields, they're heavily mentally intensive. Uh, we have to put in a lot of problem solving into it. You have to put in a lot of energy to it. So fitness is amazing, to let go of all that stress, especially when you have in your mind. Sometimes we get disappointed if something is not working. I can say from the bottom of my heart, I'm a kid. I sometimes feel like, hey, I'm just lost. I want to make this thing go ahead. I want to work. I want to make some progress. So I think fitness is very important in that aspect to really let go of all that stress, get back to focus, not give up and go ahead running. So yeah, this is the thing. That is why it's like a beautiful connection again for me.
Yep. What advice would you give to somebody who is thinking of starting their own robotics startup? Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't know if I'm really entitled to, I mean, if I have, because I'm not an experienced person, but I'm gaining experience. I would say just start. Ideas, a lot of people have ideas. A lot of people don't even they just think they come up with really innovative ideas just by daydreaming. But many people don't, they work on it, they don't execute that plan. So I would really say just start. Everything can be achieved if you just go online and Google. We are blessed with the internet. If I want to, like, for example, if I've developed a prototype, I want to manufacture, I can contact China, I can contact India, I need to do that research, I need to put in that effort. It's doable, but I need to do that first. So the first thing is, if you have an idea, go for it. It's okay to fail. I mean, this is the advice that I have got even from a hardware smart home founder, and she also has her own startup. Like, she has a startup in India, she has clients worldwide, they distribute robots. So I've realized, like, it's not impossible. She has to go through so many failures to reach that point of a successful startup, right? So she said, like, the first thing is to go with that hunch, go with the gut feeling that you have. You never know something, it is possible. Like, we have to pivot in business sometimes. It is possible that it can be a hit. So why not? Like, go for it.
Yeah, that's great advice. And yeah, the aspect of not being afraid of failure, because you'll still learn from the failures and it will get you further along, and pivoting is always acceptable. So that's great advice. Let's see. So what did you have, like, formal like school education in software engineering, or did you pick that up all yourself?
Oh, that's a great question. So Yes. So in school, I learned software engineering. In my master's was very specifically focused on computer science and AI, machine learning. Uh, the first job that I got in the United States was also for a research scientist, where I helped in building the natural language processing framework for that company, research company. And now I'm working with building and designing different kinds of data pipelines, working with an infrastructure. You have different machine learning models, productionizing, and all of that. So this experience of really designing different pipelines, connecting different kinds of sources, all of these skills somehow you have even the software of robotics like ROS. You can use all of those skills. So I can say that this has been an advantage from the software point of view. But for hardware, yes, I've had a few courses in my engineering, related to uh, taking Raspberry Pi and working with them, building. I have built a robot when I was in engineering, but it was just a small two-wheeler robot, a line following bot. But I haven't built any advanced system. And now the best part is I'm able to do that because obviously I'm following my passion. Now it's like you can connect to other women who are electrical engineers, who are mechanical engineers, and they can guide you with that. So yes, so now my background has been in software, and yeah, it's an advantage. But also, I sometimes feel I wish I'd learned some electrical stuff, some VLSI design.
Yeah, it's interesting because when you're in school, you never quite are 100% sure where you're gonna go with it. And it's like what you like at the time, and then you may get into industry and you might find like, oh, I actually kind of like this other side a little bit better. And then like how do you position yourself to kind of get over in that direction and get that experience? But I think you've been being motivated to learn yourself, find these online classes, these online resources, and you can grow those skills. It's very, very inspiring the amount of things you have learned from knowing how to research and use these tools that are available.
Thank you so much.
Let's see. So do you take time to have vacations or take more extended breaks versus like the fitness time and some of the other stuff?
I took a vacation, I think 6 months back in December, that too in New Orleans. But I was still working on my side project. I'm not kidding. I was still like researching, trying to grab that research paper, like make some points on my phone. I'm not gonna lie, but then I did enjoy that vacation in New Orleans because the ticket, like the prices in French quarters were dirt cheap because of the pandemic, and we were like, we might not. My friends were like, I don't know when you're gonna get time, Sravanthi, but you gotta go. You need a vacation. You can't be this person who's always working on your side project. You gotta take a break. So yes, I can say 1.5 day was the precise amount of time that I went and I took a vacation. And now my friends are like, it's been 6 months, you have to take a vacation. And I'm like, I don't wanna go. I don't want to go out because I have so much to do. I want to focus on these things. So yeah, I would really say that you should take a vacation. I should take a vacation too. Yeah, but I'm focusing on like, yeah, I'll plan my break. I haven't. It's been more than 6 months, I think. It's been last December, so yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult to like when you have so much on your to-do list, you're like, can I really afford to take that break right now? But yeah, sometimes just going for it, you realize, oh yeah, no, I can do that, and that will all be there when I get back still, and it won't be a big deal.
Absolutely.
So how do you like break down tasks? How do you set goals? Like you have a lot of things you accomplish. Have you come up with a very like structured way of approaching these problems?
Yeah, so I use this time boxing strategy by Elon Musk, my inspiration. I mean, because he has so many companies, and if you look at all of these companies, they're hard tech. I'm taking a lot of inspiration from hard tech companies, self-driving cars, and the way they do all of, if I have to build a prototype or something like that. So I take inspiration from them. So I use this time blocking strategy. What I do is like if I keep 2 hours, if it's just research, I just do research. Right? That's it. There's no other thing that I'm going to do. And this has helped me a lot. I can track it. So if there's Monday and read the paper, then it's only read the paper. Then it's like make some points, work on the prototype, means it's the next hour is just working on the prototype. Then I have a few meetings and I get time in between. So I try to network with other people. We have platforms like Lunch Club, then even LinkedIn. I try to connect with different founders and I ask them like, hey, can you just share your journey? How did you come up across this idea and stuff like that? So I use those break times. Then in the evening, I complete my workout. Sometimes I complete my workout in the morning when it's depending on the schedule. But in the evening, I complete my workout. I unwind a little bit, like listen to some good music, cook something because you need to eat, fuel yourself. And then again, I start studying some concepts, the courses that I'm actually currently learning about, like design, even the mechatronics part of the robots and stuff. So I keep searching on that until 9 o'clock. So I keep blocking those times. And blocking those times has really helped me a lot. And then currently I'm reading the book on creative confidence. So it's by Tom Kelly. It's not by Tom Kelly. It's called Creative Confidence. I'm sorry, I forgot the author's name. It's a green color book. And the most amazing thing is like how to come up with emotional and creative design for robots. So that has really helped me out. It's actually by the founder of IDEO.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I forgot I'm so sorry, I forgot the name of the author, but they are brothers, and they have this institute where you use concept design. You use your experiences of your daily life and how do you implement that to make an innovative design. And that book has really helped me out. Like if you're ever facing a creative block, if you're stuck on a problem and you want to innovate your product well, build that customer connection with people because you cannot forget people, right? Businesses focus. This book addresses a very good point. Like businesses focus on making money, we focus on strategy, but the most important thing are the people, like who are actually going to use it. So how do we intersect all the three aspects? How do we make it feasible, and how do you become like innovative, become creative? And the second most amazing thing is that everyone has creativity. Everyone has that creative potential. So this is an amazing book that helped me like really boost my creativity because I've realized like robots, we need to add that creative factor. And we're in this robotic industry and we are in the artificial intelligence age, industry 4.0. Very few companies, and those companies are successful. They are focusing on the creativity aspect of robots, solving problems for people. Before even we ask for a problem, they're coming up with the solution of a problem in our mind. Like that's like a mind-blowing thing. So that book is a really good book, Creative Confidence, and I'm learning on that as well. So I block some time every time at night to just read this book and make sure that you think different. I think we all need to think different, right? If you're in robotics. So
yeah. In terms of artificial intelligence and machine learning, how close do you think we are to like robots really being able to like learn for themselves without it being very like regimented and needing to label a ton of training data and all that stuff, like the more kind of general artificial intelligence that some people in the industry talk about?
Oh yeah. So I think the technology is already there. First thing is if you look at the robot or if you look at humanoid robots, I'm not going to, from a universal perspective, any scientist, any theoretical physicist, or any person who's this big, like if you talk about Jan LeCun, they're going to say like it's only 1% of intelligence. We haven't reached the remaining 99. But in terms of progress, like if you talk about a millennial person like me or a millennial, any other kid, they will think like, you know what, there is a lot of progress. There has been a lot of progress and it's becoming faster. We are making things intelligent. We have technologies like body soluble robots, like that's like mind blowing, where you can ingest a capsule and that's a robot that's going to go and heal targeted body parts. Like even if it's cancer, you can use that for cancer. If it's like an injury, you can heal that injury. And that robot is soluble. And they have done it using frog eggs.
Interesting.
Yeah. So when I read use cases like these, when I read companies doing all of these things, I realize like, hey, there are many problems that robots can solve, and we have reached a certain amount of intelligence. It's not like we haven't. Yes, we are starting from one edge. And also the second thing, what people think is, people say that only we have covered 1% of the entire intelligence in this universe or this whole spectrum. But if you really see, all of these products are very application specific, right? Like body soluble robot is just for bodies. It's not for sea, it's not for the oceans, it's not for fishes or rats, it's not for those things. It's only for humans. So people don't focus that, oh, our entity, our application is this, like it's a very targeted niche application. It's a very focused application. One thing, like one size does not fit all, so the same thing is also for robots. Humanoids cannot work always with people like us. Like I am a person who works on the desk, right? Humanoids will work mostly into places where help is needed. Like, you want to clean the furnace of a chemical factory. If a human being goes, there's a possibility for that human being to get skin cancer or leukemia or anything. But if a robot goes and cleans that, it makes sense because the robot has obviously less likelihood of getting injured. So people, and also getting cancer. The only thing the robot would be like dusty. So I think people should really understand that there's an industry behind, there's a logic, there's a lot of thought put into really solving that problem. So yes, we are ahead in intelligence. There is technology and we can do a lot with it.
Yeah, exactly. We're almost towards the end here. So do you have any last minute advice for the women in robotics community, or any upcoming events you want to promote? Any last comments you want to share with the community?
Absolutely. So since I'm from India, and I've seen a lot of women holding themselves back to not pursue robotics, to not pursue these challenging hardware products that they want to build. And I will really say, like, go for it. Like, don't just because you're a woman does not mean that you can't do things. You can definitely do things. And a lot of times people question their background. I don't have a background. So I will say that we have a lot of resources. We are living in a connected world. Surely go pursue your dream. You never know what you can get out of it. Like, go make your wildest dreams come true. That would be my advice. And also I want to really motivate and also tell a lot of women, like, join communities like Women in Robotics. It's going to help you a lot. You will at least get a platform to connect with. You never know who can the next person in your team be, right? You can get a mechanical engineer and make the most and build a project together, even if you are in another country. Like, ship products, we have shipping, we have drop shipping, we have everything. So we can do things if we really put our mind and soul and heart into it, definitely. So that would be my advice.
All right, great. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your experience with us today. So it's been great. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Thanks again.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity and also having this wonderful AMA with you. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome.